So everyone thinks in-house is the dream. Everyone thinks it's what they're looking for. And they're not 100% wrong, but they're also not 100% right. There's some things that they're just not telling you. I'm Candice Quinn with Contract Tag, and I'm here to tell you the reality of being an in-house counsel. What does it mean on a daily basis? And why I think we're just a little bit more than a glorified babysitter most of the time. So today, I'm gonna take you along in a day in my life. This is my actual day. No filter, no BS. Let's go. So you see I'm working from home today, which I do every day. I don't report to the office. I live close enough to the office where I can go sometimes, but it is not required. And the rest of my team does not work in the office, so there's not a need to go most of the time. So let me explain what I mean by babysitting. When you're in-house, you're not showing up in court, you're not making, drafting long memos to clients. You are basically handling the business's legal affairs yourself, making your decisions about them based on the business's risk tolerance and desired outcomes, priorities, goals, etc. Even if you're at the largest company, in the United States, you're still probably just reviewing outside counsel's work as an in-house counsel, and you're not actually doing the substantive work yourself. You're managing personalities, you're explaining why people can't do pretty obviously stupid things, and you're doing it over and over and over again. Okay, let's see what we're working with today. Quick question about a vendor agreement. Okay, first, there's no such thing as a quick question when it comes from the business. It's usually going to involve a lengthy explanation because they're not just looking for what the actual answer is, they are looking for what they want to hear. And this specific one is a question of, can we use this language? And it was sent at 11 p.m. last night. Cool, awesome. I love waking up to urgent emails that were sent after hours. And what they've attached is definitely an infringement of a trademark, so obviously the answer is going to have to be no, but I'm sure this is going to create a fight with the business because it always does. Oh, and here's another request. This is one of my favorites. Someone asking me to review a contract that is already signed. All right, looks like I'm in for a fun Friday. I will check back in a little bit, guys. Okay, I'm about to get on my first meeting of the day. This should hopefully take about 5 minutes, but we'll see. So looking at Section 8, this is the indemnification clause. Basically, it means if they get sued because of something that we did, we have to cover their legal costs and any damages. Right, so indemnification is when one party agrees to compensate the other for certain damages or losses. Yes, it's similar to liability protection. So what we want to do here is limit our indemnification obligation to only direct damages caused by our gross negligence or willful misconduct, not just any breach. That's just too broad. Okay, let me put it this way. Hopefully this will help you understand a little bit more. If they mess up and get sued, we don't want to pay for it. And if we mess up really badly, then yes, we will pay. But we don't want to pay if they mess up or if it's just a minor mistake on our end. We want to keep our liability pretty limited. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. All right, yeah, it was great talking to you. I will send you the red lines later on today. Sound good? Okay, yeah. All right, happy Friday. Bye. Okay, so I saved you from some of that, but I just spent about 30 minutes going through this indemnification and liability issue with a VP. And that's not untypical. I spend a lot of time explaining concepts that higher level executives should really understand as being part of the business, but I do end up spending a lot of time doing that explanation for them. And, it feels like something that was covered in the first week of law school, but we do end up explaining it over and over again, not even to different people, to the same people again and again. It's just part of being in-house. It's part of the job. All right. Okay. I am going to take a short break. I am going to go make myself a nice hot drink. So I can keep pouring through. I'm gonna have another meeting soon, and I need some sustenance before I head into that. All right, be right back. Okay, meeting number 2. The sales team wants to add some language to a contract, and I have no idea what it is, but we're gonna jump on this call and figure it out. Okay, hi, happy Friday. How's it going, everyone? Okay, so I read through your email, but I didn't see the language that you want. Can someone share screen with it? Okay, just give me a second here. Okay, I recommend that we don't include this unlimited liability provision. If something goes wrong, we could be on the hook for damages that far exceed what we're even making on this deal. Right. I understand the client's asking for it, but it's really not appropriate. From a legal risk perspective, this is a really big exposure for us. We could potentially... Right, I totally understand that this is an important client. My job is to flag the risk and see if I can come up with some alternatives, some type of compromise that will both address the client's concern, but also mitigate the risk exposure for us. Okay, I totally understand the business need. I understand the expedient timeline. As the head of sales, if you want to move forward, that is your call. I am just going to make sure that our executive team understands this risk. So I'm just going to send my concerns in writing, and I'll let you make your case from there to the executives. Does that work? Okay. All right. Perfect. Hope everybody has a great weekend. All right. Talk soon. Bye. Okay. So let me just translate what happened. They asked for my legal advice. I gave it. They completely ignored it and are going to go over my head. Sounds about right. It happens every day. Literally every day. And when this blows up in 6 months or the client still isn't happy, it's going to be my fault or legal's fault. It doesn't matter what we say. Yeah, it's always me. I'm being blamed. I get blamed for it. Oh, not fun. Okay, so now it's time for some heads down work, and that's just too boring for you to watch. So I'm gonna turn the camera off, do some heads down work, get those red lines I promised over to the business, and get some other things off my to-do list that I need done. But I'm gonna check back in at the next exciting moment with you guys. All right, bye for now. Okay, it's not even noon and I already want to quit. What is going on today? Oh, why is it always Fridays? Ah! Oh, look, someone needs me to review a contract, and it's our already signed. I'm not sure what they want me to review since it's already signed. All right, let me respond to them and see what it is they are looking for from me. Thanks for sending this over. I see this has already been executed. Going forward, please send contracts to legal for review before signing. Happy to discuss any questions about the terms moving forward. Okay, so let's see what they respond with. Not really sure what they want me to do with that review. Oh, here's another email, and it's marked urgent with 3 exclamation points. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They want to use a competitor's name in their sales deck and their competitor's logo. So pretty sure that's gonna be a no. And I'm pretty sure they already know that's a no. Also, this isn't urgent because they know the answer is no. I don't know why they're holding up something if it is urgent to get this answer that they know the answer to already. Because they've been told this before many times. And I'm not being mean here. I just genuinely don't understand. These are educated business people with real business degrees that have worked in this area for a long time, and they're asking questions that they should know the answers to that I've literally addressed with these specific people before. Okay, well, since this is urgent, let me reply right now. We cannot use another company's logo without permission. It would constitute trademark infringement. Please use our marketing materials instead. Okay, now I have a message from marketing. This is it. It comes from everywhere in the business, all day, every day. So marketing wants to claim that our product is the best and will increase revenue by at least 50%. Are we substantiating these claims, or are we just throwing stuff out there at this point? And the worst part is that I feel like I'm the fun police. I have to stop everybody from doing the things they want to do because they can't make adult decisions. And, you know, a lot of times legal is the only adult in the room. We are the only ones making the rational decisions instead of just doing all of the really fun things that we want to do. Yeah, I don't like being the fun police. When do I get to have fun? Because this isn't fun. Like, it's not fun being the fun police. It's just depressing. You know, I'm not saying no because I don't want the business to succeed. I'm saying no because I want to keep us out of court. Like, I want to keep us from having a reputation tarnished or paying money that we don't need to pay. I have the same goal as the business, and that is to make the most revenue and have the most profits possible. It's just the way I come at it is different from how the business comes at it, and that's why we butt heads. But if they would look at it like we all have the same goal, they would see that we're on the same team and that we can all work together much more sympathetically, much nicer than what we do. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm gonna get started with some administrative tasks for this afternoon. I got those red lines done, I got them back over, and Now you have to do some administrative tasks, which, this is always part of in-house. There's no admin, there's no paralegal to throw these things to. Every in-house attorney is also going to be doing some administrative things that may, not be actual substantive legal work or even close to it. And if you're not okay with that, then in-house is probably not for you. You have to be okay picking up a task at any level and running with it. I actually don't mind it. It's a good mix of work that way, but it is definitely part of the job. All right, so first I need to make some edits to our NDA template, which I'm going to do right now. And then every Friday, I go through our contract management and I organize the contracts that have been signed that week. There's no one else to do that. There's no contract manager. So once a week, I make a point of making sure everything that was completed that week was filed properly and is organized so it can be found. So I do that every Friday afternoon, and it helps keep us running pretty smoothly. Now up next, I have to create a training on privacy. It's an optional training, which that means it's not highly attended. Maybe I'll get one person that is interested and ask a lot of questions, which I appreciate, but it's not going to be a full house. I'm going to record it, so it is going to be in the forever intranet of this company, and I always love that. I'm just kidding. I don't love doing recordings that get on the intranet forever and ever. So like years after I'm at this company, somebody's gonna open this and be like, who is this chick talking to me about privacy that's outdated because it's 10 years old at that point. It's just one of those things that's never gonna get taken down. So I love it. Okay, another thing I do every Friday is I take a look at any outstanding items that I'm waiting on business approval or a response from the business on, and I go ahead and send out messages. A lot of times I schedule those messages. I don't send them on Fridays. I schedule them for a Monday morning. So that way the business approver can receive that fresh, bright and early on a Monday and see it at the top of their inbox. But for me, Fridays are usually a little quieter, so I will take that opportunity to go through, manage some of my workload, and do the follow-ups. And this is really what in-house is. You're not in a courtroom. You're not meeting with clients face-to-face. Even if you're in an office, you're typically going to be collaborating by email or through Teams or Slack. And, face-to-face meetings are going to be few and far between. You're not negotiating multi-million-dollar deals. You're organizing processes, organizing paperwork, making sure your emails are filed away correctly. And you're trying to coax the business into making decisions that it either is delaying on or won't just admit are abandoned. Basically, I'm herding cats all day, every day. I'm herding cats, and not just cats. I'm herding cats that don't want to be herded. Like, that's the worst kind to be herding. Okay, here's the thing that no one is honest about when it comes to in-house. We don't get a lot of respect. We don't get a lot of respect from our colleagues in the business. Not the way outside counsel would. If I get on a call with outside counsel and a business person, they're going to be deferring to outside counsel. They're going to give them a lot of respect. And even if they don't follow the advice, they're going to be appreciative of it and, really respect their opinion. But in-house, we're just seen a little bit differently. We aren't given that same level of respect, even though we might have the same experience and the same credentials as the outside counsel. We're just working in the business with them. We tend to be seen as the roadblock, a cost center. We're the ones telling the business no, versus outside counsel gives them options and tells them the risks, but doesn't actually make a recommendation. Now, the recommendation is where the real value from an in-house counsel comes from. Like, you're basically getting the legal advice for free, outside of paying me as an employee, but you're getting it for free, and I'm available when you need me to be available. I don't tell you there's another client that I have to get on, or I have a pre-existing call, or I'm out of town on a client trip. Like, I'm here and I'm available, but those things aren't valued by the business. And then when stuff goes wrong, it's typically the fingers are pointed at us right away. Why didn't you stop this? Why didn't you warn us? We did, and we document it because we're attorneys. We're really good at documenting and sending those follow-up emails to calls and making sure that it's clear what our advice was, and if the business chose otherwise, that's not our problem. Though it does become our problem because we're the counsel, and we're gonna end up taking it over when it becomes the problem. We're gonna fix it, and we're gonna be the ones trying to make, reactive decisions rather than proactive decisions to reduce risk and mitigate things. Legal is the employee that the company has to run things by because the CEO said so. And that's not a fun position to be in. You want to be wanted and feel valued, not be treated like a burden. But that is how most of the business treats us. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people are outwardly mean. I am saying, and I'm also not saying that no one is nice to us. Like, there are lots of nice people. I have lots of great relationships with business people. But there is a general overall tone that people want to avoid legal because that means something is going wrong or might be going wrong, or their sale, their issue is not just going smoothly through. And so they have to involve us, and at that point they're already frustrated. It's like if you're sick and you have to go to the doctor, like, you're frustrated because you have to go to the doctor because you're sick, not because you hate the doctor. And so we're kind of the same thing, but like it's hard to spend your career working in that way where it's not fun to be working with you. All right, so it's nearly the end of the day. I haven't been working the last couple of hours. I was doing some stuff with my son, which is one of the perks of being in-house. But now I'm gonna give my email a final check through before I wrap it up for the weekend. Okay, so there's a few new emails in my box. One is a contract request. That's gonna wait till Monday. I'm not touching that now. I also got an invite for an 8 a.m. call on a Monday with no context. I absolutely detest meetings that have no context. I want to prepare for a meeting, not just twiddle my fingers at the meeting and try and figure out what is being asked. Okay, all right, well, looks like next week is gonna start off with a bang. Since we already have something to negotiate, we have somebody asking us to do if they can do something illegal, and we have a 8 a.m. call with no context. So this is just the life of an in-house counsel, but at least it's Friday, so we're gonna go into the weekend and have a good one. I'm Candice Quinn, Contract Hack. I hope you enjoyed watching a day in my life as an in-house counsel, doing corporate work, commercial negotiations, and just all around babysitting and herding of cats. So if you think you're looking to make a move in-house and you want to get the lowdown on what it's really like, what you can really expect, go ahead and schedule a call with me. The link is in the pinned comment and the description below. And if you are just looking for more tips and tricks on how to hack your career, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will provide you with all the tips and tricks I have. All right, happy weekend, and I will see you next time, hackers. Bye.